I've got good news and bad news. Here's the bad news. Most protein bars are packed with sugar and unpronounceable ingredients. The good news? There's a better option. I'm Will, and I created IQ Bar plant protein bars to empower doers like you with clean, delicious, low-sugar brain and body fuel. IQ bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. And right now, you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. Try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 7 plant protein bars, 4 hydration mixes, and 4 enhanced coffee sticks. Clean ingredients, amazing taste, and you'll love how you feel. Refuel smarter, hydrate harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20 to get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping. Again, go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20.
Hello, everyone. We are the Tooth and Claw Podcast, and we have the king of all bears, Wes Larson, with us. I'm Wes's little brother, Jeff, and then we also have
Prince of Bears,
Mike Smith. Yeah, I'm the prince, and Mike Smith, who is our little jester.
Yeah. Ooh, that's actually better than I was expecting.
Do little dances for us.
Yeah, that's great.
And we are a wildlife podcast. We talk about a bunch of different wildlife stories, a lot of different attack stories, what people can do to avoid getting attacked. And me and Mike actually specialize in, while you're being attacked, what tactics you could use to overcome a lot of extremely dangerous animals.
You guys have become real professionals.
But Wes is an expert at avoiding that situation altogether.
Sure. Yeah.
How would you put that intro, Wes?
That's a 10 out of 10, Jeff. That's a 10.
Really? You're giving him a 10 for that?
I'm just in a good mood.
Okay,
Mike.
yeah, let's keep him
no
there.
ass eating in that.
Spring is sprung here. Yeah, you didn't say, well, now it's out there, but
now it's a 10.
Yeah, now it lost a couple points for that.
You guys got anything you want to talk about before we get into the episode?
No, sir.
No?
Nope, let's do it.
All right, well, this was going to be a news episode, so we're going to just talk about recent animal stories in the news that, might not make it to a main episode, but are worth talking about still,
Yeah, this is a main episode, but none of these can fill an episode on their own.
That's right.
And we do this like every probably 5 episodes. We throw out one of these because a lot happens. There's a lot of news. We're bombarded by it. And some of this animal news might slip through the cracks if you're not paying attention.
And it's a really hard episode because, there's a lot of stories being made up out there that keep tricking me.
Fake news.
Like there's this dog that escaped and led 7 other dogs back to their homes that went viral.
Yeah.
Fake.
What was the one? You posted one to our account not long ago that I had to tell you was fake.
Yeah.
Ooh, uh-oh.
Yeah. He was crestfallen, Mike. I've never seen him sadder than when I told him that story was fake. It was a what?
I said, dang it.
Yeah, dang it. Gall darn it. Who wants to go first?
Could I?
You know I do.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, all 3 of us. Wait, Mike said it first.
Wait, pick a number, Wes.
Any number?
1 to 3, sorry.
You gotta
1 to 3?
finish that one.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll pick 3.
Okay, 3 goes first. Mike, pick a number.
2.
2 goes second. I'll go last.
All right.
Hey.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to actually start with a story that got sent to me a lot. I don't know how much it got sent to the podcast, but it's about a bear in California. I was just in California for a couple weeks, and so I decided all of my stories today are going to be from California because a lot happened there the last couple months, actually. But yeah, this one got sent to me a lot. It's the tragic story of Blondie the bear. And I might take a stance on this one that's a little bit surprising to a lot of people, especially our newer listeners. But I do want listeners of the show to understand that wildlife management is really tricky. There's a lot of different interest groups involved if you're a wildlife manager, and part of being a good biologist and wildlife manager is learning how to make hard decisions. So in
Won't
mid-March...
you ever just stay neutral on something? Just be like, I don't have a stance? You
Uh,
always have a stance.
I don't always, actually.
like JoJo.
But I do on wildlife stuff, usually.
What's your stance on top ramen?
I'm neutral.
All right.
No, you're not. You're just
There you
saying
go.
that now. You're just
Okay.
saying that to appease Jeff so he stops talking.
Yep. In mid-March, a female black bear named Blondie was captured in Monrovia, which is a city in the foothills of Los Angeles County. This bear and her 2 cubs, these were cubs of the year, so new cubs, were well known to the public, and she was often spotted swimming in people's swimming pools or eating out of unprotected trash, and she was especially popular this year because she had these brand new baby cubs with her that are very cute. There's not much cuter than black bear cubs when they're pretty new, you know?
Yeah.
They're just
Maybe
isn't.
baby ducks.
Yeah. Those are the 2 cutest things, I think, in the
Yeah.
world. All right. This bear was captured because her habituation and food conditioning had recently taken a bit of a scary turn. She'd already had a big strike against her when last June she approached an elderly man on his porch and swiped at him, causing minor injuries. And then on March 14th of this year, she again swiped at a woman who was out walking her dog and again caused some minor injuries. And we've talked about black bears a lot on the show. They really don't often make contact with humans unless there are like extenuating circumstances. And I really think this bear, being so habituated and fed, not on purpose fed, but she's eating trash, she's eating human food, dog food, all these different things, made her a lot more comfortable around humans. And I'm actually really impressed that she wasn't captured after this first incident. Climbing up on someone's porch and swiping at him, in most places in Missoula, that would be a bear that they would put down immediately. But I do think some of these foothills of LA bears get a lot of chances before they get in trouble. And the second incident must have just been too much for wildlife officials because they did capture Blondie and her cubs. The decision was made a few days later to euthanize Blondie. So on March 17th, she was euthanized, and her cubs are put in a wildlife rehab with the hope that they could be returned to the wild when they're old enough. No big surprise, the community was not happy about this. They even had a 2-mile march in remembrance of Blondie. There was protests. They were not excited that this bear was killed.
That.
Yeah, I know you would. Local leaders were upset that they were kept out of the decision-making process, and people made threats against the wildlife department. Now, Jeff already voiced his opinion. I'm going to voice mine. I think this was the only decision that they could have made at this point. Once you catch this bear, the cubs are probably young enough they can be rewilded, but this bear, the female, had already shown a history of food conditioning, extreme habituation with 2 attacks. She's a huge liability, both legally and for the overall public perception of black bears. So really, I think the people that are blame here are the people that were allowing her to access human food, not the wildlife officials that had to make a hard decision and kill a bear I promise you they did not want to kill. So I'm sure someone's going to ask the question out there, why didn't they just move her? Why didn't they put her somewhere else? And the problem with that is they often come back to where you moved them from, even if you go pretty far. And then the other problem is if you move it far enough, it's just moving a problem. She's going to find other houses, she's going to find cabins or whatever else and look for food in those places too. And at that point, she's so food conditioned that if she doesn't find it, she might try and break into the house or do things that really cause problems. And the reason that I think you have to euthanize a bear like this is that once they start doing those things, people start to dislike bears. It starts to create a negative perception of the species as a whole and the population as a whole. So you can't make these kind of decisions based on individual bears. You have to make them based on the whole population. So I do think they did what they had to do here.
Do you think after everyone walked 2 miles, they'll change the way they respond to these incidents in the future?
Yeah, I think the wildlife people were like, oh, yeah, okay. If we could resurrect her, we would. But
They probably are like, you got to walk at least 3 miles before we start taking you seriously.
I
I like the fact that they did the hike.
too.
I think
Right.
I do too.
That's a nice thing.
Like, I like that the town wants bears, you know?
Me too.
That the people there want bears, that they're upset whenever a bear's killed. I think that's the way it should be. And even if the bear, like, even if it's better off for all the bears in the area that this bear was killed, maybe that was the right decision by, like, the wildlife department. But, like, I'm still glad that the public is getting mad at them for
Cares.
it, you know? Because,
Yeah.
like, it shows that they're on the side of having bears.
I'm glad that the public was mad that this bear had to be killed, but their anger should be directed at people that were letting her eat human food. That's where the changes
And
need
the
to be made.
damn skateboarders.
And skateboarders. They gotta be mad at skateboarders because they're always causing problems.
Yeah, they're throwing food everywhere, too.
Yeah. The wildlife, having worked with a lot of different wildlife people and in a lot of different places and people from different backgrounds, I've never met anyone that wanted to kill a bear. And I've met a lot of people that are like really gun happy. They're working in wildlife and they still don't like shooting bears. You usually don't get into a wildlife profession if you want to kill wildlife, just like, for these kind of reasons. There's plenty of hunters that get into wildlife, but that's a different story. So I feel bad for these people that had to make this decision. They didn't want to do it. And I'm with you guys. I'm glad that they loved this bear and I'm glad that they like had a remembrance for her. But I would hope that they don't blame the wildlife agencies for her death. They need to blame themselves, unfortunately.
I have kind of a dumb
Themselves
question,
didn't
maybe,
pull the
Wes.
trigger.
Yeah. What's that, Mike?
So this bear's name was Blondie, and I was going to make a joke about how do they know, like, did the bear tell them that was her name? But
Yeah.
do bears and other animals actually vocalize? Like, do they name each other? Do they have things that they can, like, vocalize that will call attention to a specific other member of their pack or species?
I don't think so. I think they've done research that maybe like whales and like chimpanzees and some of these really kind of upper level intelligence animals might be vocalizing specific sounds for specific individuals. But I would be very surprised if bears have like names for their family members or cohorts or whatever. So I don't know if anyone's done that work though.
At the shelter, they were calling my dog Bronze. And when I
Bronze?
adopted him, he told me his name's Shanks.
See, Wes?
Okay.
Is that what you're asking, Mike?
That's exactly what I was getting at. Yeah,
That was a
you,
better
Jeff.
answer.
Finally, yes.
So, yes, animals do name each other. Human
This one
names.
was named Blondie because she was a fairly blonde black bear.
And it just so happened to be the name the bears gave her, too?
I don't think the bears had given her a name, but
Oh, so Mike, what were you saying, Mike?
I'm not even sure anymore, Jeff.
Okay.
You've got me all twisted about.
all right, I'm done with my first story.
Okay. I'm calling this one Wolfgang the Window Shopper.
Why?
You'll see, Jeff. I got some details that might elucidate a little bit as to why I'm calling it that. So,
What does that have to do
location.
with window shopping?
A major shopping street in Hamburg, Germany. This happened March 30th, I believe, 2026. At least all the articles that I read were published on that date. So let's go to Germany, guys. You guys are always like, Europe, not that dangerous when wildlife is concerned. Well,
It's true.
try telling that to this lady in this story.
I won't.
So we've got a pretty rare attack here, actually, and this is the first time that such an incident has happened since 1998. So on the evening of a late March day, there's a German woman walking through the shopping center near an inner city IKEA. She was walking around the shopping center and she saw what she initially thought was a huge dog repeatedly running into a pane of glass. So if you can imagine, and again, a lot of these articles were translated directly just from German. So it wasn't made exactly clear in the language I'm able to read, but it's made it sound like it was trapped behind, maybe inside of a storefront, trying to get out and escape to safety rather than like trying to get into somewhere. But again, I'm not totally clear as to what was happening.
Okay.
Well, anyway, she felt pretty bad because, again, it looked like this animal was doing harm to itself. So she approached it hoping to lead it outside into somewhere it would feel a little more safe to escape to freedom, you know?
Yeah.
What happened from there was witnessed by a musical theater actor named Lionel von Lorentz-Olin.
Okay.
Again, we're in Germany here, if it wasn't made clear yet. He was also out shopping in the area with his 2-year-old daughter. And as they were leaving the supermarket, they heard and saw this woman fall to the ground. And they thought this was just a huge dog at first, too. But they quickly realized this is an increasing sighting of wolves penetrating into city centers. And they're like, oh my gosh, we got to go help. So he ran over. This wolf was on top of her. It disengaged and ran off. He gave her a handkerchief because she had a pretty gnarly wound on her face from the wolf. Bit her right on the cheek, I think is what it was trying to communicate to me, this article.
Yeah.
So again, according to authorities, this is the first time a wolf attack has been recorded in Germany since 1998. And they've just very recently begun to re-inhabit this part of the world after 150 years of being, I think, extirpated is the term, right? Would that make sense, Wes?
When you say this part of the world, you mean like downtown Hamburg?
Yeah, like Germany generally. There's just not 150 years. Wolves just haven't been in Germany, period.
Yeah.
But ever since the fall of the Berlin Wall, that's opened the way for wolves to come in from the east through Poland back into Germany. So in 2024, the confirmed number of wild packs has risen anywhere from between 100 to 200. Which is pretty great, I think, because like in Wes, tell us again. I love this story. I do so love it when you tell. Why, how, wolves, hold on. I'm going to just get myself together. Okay, it's not even funny. Wolves in their ecosystems, like why are they important to have as far as like balancing out the natural world?
Yeah, there's a lot of consequences that can come from this kind of landscape of fear.
Trees.
But I'm glad you brought this up because that whole thesis in Yellowstone with like the willows growing in and the beavers coming back and all of that, there's been a lot of pushback to that idea recently. And even a lot of the wolf biologists in Yellowstone are saying, no, that's actually not why we're having this willow regeneration and whatnot. Like hunting has actually been a bigger effect on that than anything. A few different factors are at play. So I don't think we can say that wolves coming back have that grand of an effect like we've talked about. But what we can say is that they are alpha predators and all these different trophic levels below them, all the, the things that they're eating and the things that they're eating and whatnot are going to be affected by their presence on the landscape. How marked that effect is still kind of under review.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, just to tack on a quick coda to the story. So the wolf escaped last we heard from it. It was running around taking just a tour of Hamburg, and it ended up
hamburgers.
You gotta imagine, right? You have
That's
to
where they're from.
Is that?
I don't think
is that
so.
I think. Are we busting that myth? I don't know.
Germany made hamburgers.
I think they're named after Hamburg, but I don't think they're
from there.
Actually from there.
Do you think French fries are from France?
I don't know.
French's mustard.
You guys remember after 9/11, everyone was calling them freedom fries?
Dude, even back then, I was like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever. I was like 10, and I was like, this is stupid.
And it was just because France didn't want to like go indiscriminately bomb people. So we were like, oh, these are freedom fries now. So stupid. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to see what hamburgers came from.
Okay, do that, and I'll finish the story while you do that. So it was swimming around. It eventually made its way into a lake, and the police got it surrounded, and they threw a lasso. And this is kind of impressive. They lassoed it and pulled it back up onto land. And for the next hour, this wolf was just fighting them. They said the police had to get out like riot shields, I think is what it was talking about, because it was just going crazy trying to get away. Eventually, they were able to corral it and send it off to, where is it? Clovenstein Wildlife Park, where they were holding it until it could calm down, upon which time they would release it back into the wild somewhere less populated. So
yeah, we've heard that with Germany before. Send them to a camp.
Jeez.
Don't want that.
I'm just worried about the wolf, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, you're asking you're asking questions, which is a step.
No
in the right
stupid
direction.
question.
That I just keep thinking about how crazy that would be. Like, imagine you're in downtown Salt Lake, 'cause Hamburg's like a big city,
I know.
and you're just kind of like strolling around, window shopping, eating a hamburger, and you just see a wolf, you know?
Right.
Where are they from?
They're from the US, but they were created by like German immigrants that had this thing called like a Hamburg steak, which was like a chopped, almost ground beef like steak. They used those to create hamburgers.
See, Germany, you've got a lot of history to be proud of. Just focus on what you've done that's good instead of...
Yeah, why do you have to keep bringing up all the bad stuff, Jeff?
That's probably partially my fault.
Yeah.
They did go to war against the entire world twice. So that's like but on the other side, they did...
The first time was fun,
Respect it.
First time seemed a
though.
little
The second
more fun.
time was the bad one.
Like, imagine if one UFC fighter was just like, I'm going to fight all of them at once.
Right. And kind of like got close to winning.
You'd be like, that's kind of badass.
Yeah.
They did put up a good fight too.
And then
they
they get-
almost won both
They
times.
get like beaten down to a pulp, and then they get up and they're like, I want to go again.
Let's go around two.
And
I'm
like
going to
a
retract.
this
few
time
of
it's gonna
the
be super
fighters in
racist.
the big group just like quit before they even start. They're just like, nope.
Before we get people writing in, I'm going to retract what I said. You can stand by what you said, Wes. World War I didn't sound fun really at all for the boots on the ground. But I think I kind of see what you're meaning.
Fun
by that.
reasons. They got into it for fun reasons.
I'll push back on that.
Yeah, go ahead, Jeff. I don't care. It's your turn.
Your turn, Jeff. I don't know about you guys, but I feel stressed a lot. I feel like we are constantly bombarded with more news and information and things that the human mind was ever supposed to deal with. And it's a lot to make sense of. And I feel like we do sometimes need some help to deal with our stress. And that's where cortisol calming from Veracity comes in. This podcast is sponsored by Veracity. Veracity provides all natural ways to reduce stress. With Veracity's drug-free, clinically proven, and doctor-formulated solutions, you can support your body's needs to live your healthiest life. And if your goal is stress relief, like mine, you need to try cortisol calming. With cortisol calming, you can build resistance and resilience to fight or flight stress from spikes in the stress hormone cortisol. We've talked about fight or flight a lot on the podcast, and I don't know if this would help you if you encountered a grizzly bear, but it would help with a lot of your day-to-day stresses. It alleviates the effects of cortisol spikes, stuff like anxiety, brain fog, cravings, visceral fat, and slowed metabolism. And the results are real and clinically proven. Within 30 minutes, you'll start to feel a reduction in stress and feel more relaxed. Within 3 weeks, you can get your sleep back in sync and start to feel less fatigue, which is a big deal in today's modern world. And with a product like Veracity, a common question is, what are the side effects? Since cortisol calming is made with 100% natural ingredients, clinical trials showed no negative side effects from the ingredients. So calm your stress the natural way. Head to veracityhealth.co and use code TOOTH for up to 65% off your order. Once again, that's VERACITY health.co for up to 65% off, and make sure you use our promo code TOOTH so that they know that we sent you.
All right, Mike,
Yeah.
what's your favorite thing about popular streamer Clavicular?
Oh, his looksmaxxing tutorials on YouTube.
Is that who
Clavicular.
that is?
Yeah.
God, this is someone I
Looksmaxxing?
really hoped we'd never have to bring up ever on the show. Ugh.
Wes,
right.
you've been bear maxing for years.
I have been bear maxing a bit. Yeah.
Mike's been calf maxing for pretty much his whole life.
For sure.
And
Best
I'd
calves.
say I've been diarrhea maxing for a long time now,
It's like-
especially
yeah.
this week.
Right. You're one of the best.
I even wore off on Shanks a little today.
Nice.
Yeah. But anyways, I don't know if I'm saying his name completely right. He doesn't deserve it anyways, but Clavicular, he's all about looks maxing, right? Like I saw him on the Adam Freeland show, and he was saying, like, you can take out student loans and pretend you're going to college and then just get facial surgery with that money and you
Wow.
don't get too big of a penalty. Like, he's just like, that's all that matters is
Like
your
beauty
looks
over
and
everything.
like getting plastic surgery to look better, right?
Huh.
But anyways, he streams his entire life, like 24/7 pretty much, and you know, a lot of women see how popular his stream is and they want to get on there, and that's his whole gimmick. And a lot of people, like I would have been as a teenager, tune in to see what's going on. As a teenager, I would have been like, wow.
You know, Marvin Gaye would have been like, what's going on? He would have tuned in.
And then immature teenage Jeff, what's something else he would have thought might have been cool? I don't know, maybe just going out on the swamp and shooting an alligator for no reason.
Yeah.
Right? Before I knew any better. Well, this guy should know better. He's old enough to know better, and he doesn't, because he went on a swamp boat. They drove out, just found a random alligator that wasn't even very big and pulled out pistols and shot it a bunch of times, and it killed it, right? And that was it. Like, that, there's no point to it. They just wanted to go kill something.
Yeah.
But turns out
Just a normal thing to just want
they
to go
didn't
kill
do
something.
it during hunting season,
Mm-hmm.
and they killed an alligator too small under Florida law. So it's a felony. So right now he is felony maxing, and I think most of the world is kind of just rooting for his downfall.
Yeah. I am, especially after hearing that story.
Yeah.
And that's a bad look for someone who cares about looks.
I do tend to lose a lot of respect for people, even people I've known for a while, if they tell me stories about just like killing animals for fun.
Yeah.
You know, it just kind of is like, oh, how do you have that in you? Like, and how have you
Yeah.
not gotten out of it? You know?
I think it might be part of why I chose this story too, is just like I've mentioned it before, but like my younger self was impressed by like hunters who would kill exotic animals. And I think that there's a lot of people who have been in the same boat. That's an impressive thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to like make it one of the least impressive things possible now by my own merit, you know?
Yeah.
So to me, like, I like shaming anyone who kills an animal for no reason.
Yeah. And this feels
Shame
especially
Shame, man.
shame. This
That
feels
lady,
especially
Shane Max. She was
since-
hot. Did you know that?
who?
The Shane
nun?
lady.
It's
She's
the,
like
it's
the
the
hot
woman from
blonde lady
Ted
in
Lasso.
Ted Lasso.
Okay. All right. I like that. I'm all on board.
In Game of Thrones, they're like, hiding it.
I think this feels especially insidious to me because I don't like trophy hunting at all, but trophy hunters, I feel like they're at least like trying to bring something back. Like they want like something to display. And I'm not saying that's like better, but for whatever reason in my brain, when someone's just going out and they just want to kill, there's no other reason for it. They just want to kill something.
Right. To
It
like look
feels-
cool on a stream.
Yeah, it feels really bad to me. It's a huge red flag. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I had to unfollow him.
That's- I
It's
tell
tough,
people, like,
but I had
yeah.
to unfollow
Oh,
him.
you're following him
Good
already?
choice, Jeff.
Oh, dude, his maxing.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't following him,
Okay.
but I got you.
It sucks
it's tricky.
that's kids these days. They have to deal with all that. Get outside, kids. Go just have some
Yeah.
fun. Don't follow these guys. Just wait to ruin your life until you're our age, and then ruin it like we have.
Who should they look up to though?
Mike, because Mike's not really on social media. I need to be off maxing.
Something a little euphemistic about that. I don't know what
Sure.
exactly, but
Oh, before we move to Wes again, I want to mention too, because Mike talked about wolves and Wes talked about California. Were you going to talk about that wolf, Wes?
There's a wolf that showed up in Los Angeles County in
For
California.
the first time in 100 years.
Yeah, first time in 100 years.
What happened 100 years ago?
They extirpated wolves probably from Los Angeles
100
County.
years ago, we were
1926. Great
building
Depression.
cars for like the first time ever.
It was I think it was Prohibition. probably.
That explains it.
That's why wolves are running wild. So, wait, what were we? Oh, yeah. So, anyway, a wolf showed up in Los Angeles. I think it's gone now where they moved it. I'm not sure what happened. I can't remember.
I have an idea, actually. I think, like, you know how there's, like, wolf fanatics out there that just are obsessed with wolves?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if a wolf shows up in LA again, go plant, like, 10,000 trees and just be like, look, this wolf killed off the deer and elk that were keeping these trees from growing.
Now there's a bunch of trees. Landscape of fear is
Like
action.
go plant a bunch of cottonwoods by the river.
Sure. All right. We're going back to California for number 2, the Golden State. Is that what it is? Right?
Yeah.
Is it the Golden State?
Golden State Warriors.
Golden State Killer. Warrior. All right. So
Is that what the team is named after? That guy that killed everyone?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
State is.
Imagine you're a teenage girl, guys.
Yeah, easy.
I know you do this sometimes.
Yep.
No, I refuse.
Okay. So it wouldn't be hard for Bailey Vanden Bosch to imagine she's a teenage girl, because she is. And she was this March when she was riding her bike during the unseasonably warm March temperatures this spring in Southern California and throughout the West, honestly. And on March 20th, she had gone for this bike ride with one of her friends in Ventura County. It's about 5:30 p.m., and Bailey had gotten to a tricky, uneven part of this trail and decided to walk her bike when she lost her balance, slipped, and fell into the brush, the bike kind of falling down on top of her. As she got up, she was unaware that this brush already had a resident, and she unknowingly stepped on a rattlesnake that was resting under the bush that she had fallen into. Bailey felt a strong pain in her ankle and saw one puncture wound with some blood leaking out, but she still didn't realize that she had been bitten by a snake, so I assume that this rattlesnake was not rattling. And sometimes that'll happen if the encounter happens so quick that the rattlesnake doesn't really even have a chance to rattle, they'll just bite. And that's what happened here, I believe. Anyway, her friend caught up to her. They both decided that she had broken her ankle in the fall because it was immediately starting to swell and be really painful. And then Bailey's face started tingling and she started to lose her hearing. We've all had like ankle breaks or sprains.
Ugh.
Did either of you lose your hearing when you broke your ankles?
I threw up and put my face in it.
I was there. I remember that. Yep. You sure did do that. Yeah, I didn't either. So this isn't a broken ankle. This is something else. Her body was also feeling very strange. So they called Bailey's dad, and he tried to use her phone to pinpoint their exact location. Took him a little while to show up, though. And by the time he had arrived, Bailey couldn't move, and her face was kind of distorted, like it was swelling and kind of looked like she was having a stroke, I believe. So by the time the paramedics arrived, she was having trouble breathing. She was taken to the hospital and given antivenom, and she is recovering now, but her foot is still swollen and painful, and she's still on crutches. But she's lucky compared to some other Southern California residents this year. Because on February 1st, something very similar happened to 25-year-old Julian Hernandez, but with far worse consequences. He too was mountain biking, but he was in Irvine. And like Bailey, he had lost his balance. He had reached over to like tie a shoe or something. His bike tipped. He fell into some brush while balancing. And he was also unlucky enough to fall into a rattlesnake. He was bitten and taken to the hospital soon thereafter. But he spent almost a month in the hospital, part of that time in a coma, before finally succumbing to the effect of the venom. And he passed away on March 4th.
Oh, man.
So kind of crazy, but you know what's even crazier is that it happened again. On March 14th, 46-year-old Gabriela Batista was hiking in Ventura County when she was bitten by a rattlesnake. She too was airlifted to a local hospital where she would spend 5 days fighting the venom, but also would end up dying from complications of this envenomation. So this is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Usually in the entire US on a given year, we have typically between 3 to 6 fatalities from venomous snakes. There's already been 2 in just California. And in just Ventura County, there's been 6 bites so far this year. And generally, they report about 9 bites for the entire year. So really getting off to a quick start for rattlesnake bites in California. And there's a big reason for that. I already mentioned...
venom maxing.
They've been venom maxing out in California, yep.
Like Tom Hardy.
I mentioned that it's been a warm spring. And in March especially, a lot of the West experienced a big heat wave. I know it happened in Utah, it happened here in Montana, and it happened in California, where suddenly temperatures were in the upper 80s or even lower 90s in Southern California. And these snakes, rattlesnakes in this area do brumate, which is kind of like a type of hibernation. So during the winter, their activity is way down. Some of them are going into these dens and they're just sleeping pretty much the entire winter season. And then they wake up in the spring. And what triggers that movement and that activity is warm temperature. That's part of what triggers it. So when it warmed up really quickly in March, rattlesnakes were suddenly moving around a lot more than they typically do in March. So I think a lot of these people that are maybe more concerned about rattlesnakes than typically in April moving forward kind of thought they were still out of rattlesnake season. There's not really a season in California. You could find a rattlesnake any time of the year in California, but generally March isn't like high season for them. And this year
once it warms up, they still move around more.
Yeah, and this is a good time of year for them to be moving around because it doesn't get too hot in the middle of the day. So if you live in Southern California, just be aware that it is now rattlesnake season, and you need to be cautious and wear proper footwear, and just know that there's a lot of bites every year, and very, very few people die from them. The U.S. usually has around 7,000 bites per year, and only like I said before, 3 to 6 deaths. So if you do get bit, what are the 2 things you want if you get bit by a venomous snake?
Keys and phone.
Car keys and cell phone.
Yep.
And a helicopter.
Call for help. Get to help. So,
Well, if you have
and
a
take a photo of the snake too. A helicopter would be great, or like a jetpack. That's my second story in California. I just want to say though, really quick, we've been doing a lot of snake stuff lately. Snakes do not want anything to do with us. They don't want to bite us. They want to get away from you. So we shouldn't blame these snakes for this.
Bill, make like an Instagram post thing that just says Wes Larson 2026, the year of the rattlesnake.
Yeah, I like that.
Like Wes is quoting 2026 is the year of the rattlesnake.
Like year of the shark.
Yeah.
How do you explain?
Should we make a bet?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys just can't
More
stop
deaths this year than normal.
wagering.
Yeah, I'd bet that there are.
You
How do you
bet that
explain
there
what?
are. That's what I want too.
The single puncture wound on her leg, is that something that happens often with snake bites, is they only get one tooth in there?
It can happen for sure. I think she actually got both punctures. She just didn't see it.
I looked at the
okay.
picture of this one. It was mainly one puncture, and like that was part of why they didn't think it was a rattlesnake, was they didn't see the 2 bite marks. It was like her and her friend. So they saw one puncture, but they didn't see the second one, so they didn't really put it together that it was a snake.
But I think she did have the second puncture wound after all.
It's just hard to see it. Okay.
Yeah. But they can just get one fang in sometimes too.
Yeah. Like the Zootopia 2 snake, right?
Yeah,
just one,
exactly.
One fang.
Could be that snake.
Again, to one other thing I just wanted to push is, if you do happen to get bit by a venomous snake and you go to the hospital, make sure you advocate for yourself and make sure that you are getting enough anti-venom and that you have the doctors reach out to toxicologists, because often doctors don't really know how to treat snake bites. So you really do need to advocate for yourself.
Like we heard from Claire, like they didn't give her enough anti-venom until she insisted for it. And like we've heard that a few times with different people. So like, maybe had they pumped these guys. What?
Yeah.
Clara. With more anti-venom, who knows? But that's not to say like they would have survived.
Yeah, sometimes
maybe the doctors did. I don't know.
And these most likely were Southern Pacific rattlesnakes, which we learned in that Synanon story. They have really complicated venom that can be pretty tricky to nail down with anti-venom. So I'm guessing that's probably the snakes involved, just based on the locations.
I've been told that I have the most comfortable bed in the history of beds. And when asked why my bed's so comfortable, one of the first things I bring up is my miracle sheets. Here's a gross fact. Traditional bed sheets can hold more bacteria than a toilet seat. Yeah, not exactly what you want to lay your face on. Miracle Made bedding is designed to fight bacteria and stay cleaner longer with silver-infused fabrics that actually prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth. You guys see how far that rocket just went past the moon? Well, Miracle Made sheets are crafted with NASA-inspired silver-infused fabrics that help regulate your body temperature. I'm a hot sleeper. Doesn't matter. These sheets help keep me cool in my comfort zone all night long. And if you're a cold sleeper, they do the same thing. It doesn't make sense, but it works. Upgrade your sleep or get someone else a better sleep. Go to trymiracle.com/tooth to try Miracle Made sheets today. You'll save over 40%, and when you use promo code TOOTH, you'll get an extra 20% off plus a free 3-piece towel set. They make an amazing gift with 30-day money-back guarantee. There's no risk. That's trymiracle.com/tooth, code TOOTH at checkout. Thanks to Miracle Made for sponsoring this episode.
My dad is always expounding the virtue of serving other people. He says it's the happiest way to live, and he's a happy guy, so I believe him. So here's a mindset shift about life insurance that helped me recently. Life insurance isn't something you buy for yourself. You buy it for the people you love and who rely on you. So they're not scrambling. They're covered, and they'll have less to worry about in an already difficult and unexpected time. Fabric by Gerber Life makes it easy to give them that. Fabric by Gerber Life is a term life insurance you can get done today. Made for busy parents like you, all online, on your schedule, right from your couch. You could be covered in under 10 minutes, often with no health exam required. If you've got kids, and especially if you're young and healthy, the time to lock in low rates is right now. Fabric has partnered with Gerber Life, trusted by millions of families like yours over 50 years. Plus, they have nearly 2,000 5-star reviews on Trustpilot with a rating of excellent. And beyond all that, there's no risk. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee, and you can cancel at any time. So join the thousands of parents who trust Fabric to help protect their family. Apply today in just minutes at meetfabric.com/tooth. meetfabric.com/tooth. And use our link so they know that we sent you. MEET fabric.com/tooth. Policies issued by Western Southern Life Assurance Company. Not available in certain states. Prices subject to underwriting and health questions.
All right.
I've got another one for you guys. Another super rare one, in fact. This is like a holographic Honus Wagner baseball card. Mint condition. That's how rare this is. Actually, the card might be more rare than what happened here. We'll see. Or maybe we won't. I don't know. I'm not going to talk too much more about Honus Wagner, unless you want me to.
I don't even know who that is. No.
Okay. So we're going to Cary, North Carolina this time. Aaron Hogston. That's our main character of the day. Aaron Hogston.
The emphasis on hog.
I just like that name a lot. Aaron woke up early on a mid-March morning, drove a couple hours outside of her hometown. She's going to cheer on some of her friends who are, Jeff.
I've heard this one, but keep going.
Okay, yeah. Pretend you didn't do that. You added nothing to the story, really. You might have detracted a little bit, in fact. Anyway, she was on her way. She's going to cheer on some of her friends who are going to be running in this local marathon. She found a nice little spot where she settled in for the day, and she was actually planning on surprising her friends. They didn't know she was going to show up. They didn't know she was going to be attending, so she's like getting all excited, hankering down at this little aid station. But instead of surprising her friends, AIDS station. I don't know. I don't think they're handing out what you're thinking they're handing out there. I think it's like water and maybe some like calorically dense snack foods or something.
I wouldn't drink it.
There's not like just dirty needles on the table. Don't use those. Anyone running marathons out there. Anyway, instead of being the surprise giver, she was the surprise receiver. So she was sitting there waiting to sit. And you got to imagine she's probably there for like 7 hours waiting for her friends, just like excited the whole time. She heard some rustling in the bushes behind her, and she described it as being this really loud, bustling noise. And she was like, oh my gosh, there's no way that's anything smaller than a bear. I've got to get out of here or I'm going to die. But as she started running, she lost her footing and fell and scraped up her hand pretty badly. But the injuries on her ankle came from something else entirely. I haven't told you the culprit just yet. I'm wondering if you guys can put it together. This is going to give it away. So if you have any guesses, now's the time.
A river otter.
I think I heard a different story, so I'm not sure anymore.
Okay, good. I'm glad. This is new for you, Jeff. So when she told her story later, she said, quote, everybody was like, wow, we thought they were really nice. We thought that they were cute. And then Aaron goes on to say, I don't know. I don't see anything cute about otters, especially now. And it's kind of hard to blame her when she has to go to, get like the rabies shots, and that's like thousands of dollars. That's going to put you out. Like, we always hear stories about these people, they get attacked by a shark and they're like, still, no, we love sharks. They're still awesome. It was just doing their thing. So it's kind of refreshing when someone's just like, yeah, I don't really like otters, especially now, But so like I was mentioning, this is really rare. So only 59 documented otter attacks have ever happened worldwide since 1875. And the only other documented otter attack, there's only one that's happened in North Carolina.
That's worldwide?
Honus Wagner. I think there were seven Honus Wagner cards.
Worldwide, there's only been that many?
In China and stuff.
59
Singapore.
Documented otter attacks that have happened worldwide since 1875, according to, I should cite my source here, wect.com.
Huh. Yeah, because I know those Singaporean, or however you say that, those otters constantly chase people, but who knows how often they bite people. And then there's that woman in Butte, Montana, that got attacked like pretty badly by river otters.
They can do damage.
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Well, Mike, what do we always say? You otter, watch your back.
Shoot, you set me up for that one. That was an alley-oop. I blew it.
They are really cute. And people see them as being these like really playful, cute animals, but they're also top predators in their ecosystems. Like on a river, not much is scarier to like a fish than a river otter. They're impressive little animals, and it doesn't surprise me that this happens from time to time.
I do like the image of her expecting to see a bear burst out of the bush, and it's just an otter.
She's like even more scared.
Which is still startling, but
it sucks when you're expecting a bear and it ends up being an otter, right? Or is it nice?
It depends on what side of that fence you're on.
You'd be mad
in that community.
Yeah, they are cool little critters, though. I love otters.
What about hippos?
I also love hippos.
Wes, what are 3 major things to remember when dealing with a hungry, pregnant woman?
That just do whatever you can to make her happy. That's
do whatever
one.
You can't make her happy, okay? You can ask Mike for help.
Make sure it's not alcoholic is what one I would say.
Okay, yeah.
Don't give her any alcohol. And she's always right.
Okay. Maybe give her a little distance if she needs it.
If she needs it, yeah.
In India, on the night of March 19th, a 27-year-old pre-veterinarian named Samikasha Reddy she was working at a zoo in her town and just like getting experience with lots of different types of animals. She was apparently like her main assignment was a sun contour. Is that like the bird?
Yeah, that's like the type of bird mom and dad had. Conure.
Okay, yeah. And she is required to check conure. Yeah. And she's required to check on it like every 12 hours. But it seems to me like the zoo has been giving like pretty vague details to not like implicate themselves too, because I don't see her doing these next things unless someone taught her how to do it and told her to do these things. But anyways, she was in there that night and she was using a thermal scan to monitor the temperature of a pregnant hippo and then also a tiger and a lion at the zoo, right? At this safari in Shivamoga.
Yeah, those all three seem like animals that you shouldn't have like your new,
Yeah.
like volunteer hire working on. But
Right.
yeah.
According to zoo officials, though, she was not instructed to care for the hippo. So, the pregnant wild hippo had not moved out of its pond in several days. It hadn't eaten in several days. And the zoo officials were speculating that maybe Semikasha was like not expecting the hippo to come out of this pond that it had been in several days, right? Mm. So the young veterinarian got her driver to like lower a ladder down into this hippo enclosure, and she's climbing down the ladder to go like take its temperature when the hippo comes out of the pond super fast, knocks the ladder over, knocking her into the pond, and then starts attacking her. They were able to get her out and like rush her to the hospital, but like later that morning she passed away from her injuries.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. So super crazy incident, but also like kind of weird that she was there at night, like walking on the ladder into a wild hippo enclosure. It does seem to me like they probably did give her more responsibilities than they're letting on, but also like I can't imagine it's protocol to go into the hippo enclosure at night, so maybe she was doing some stuff she wasn't supposed to be doing as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, the hippo like saw her walking down the ladder, and pregnant female animals, what?
Yeah.
You can't
they can
predict.
be cranky. Yeah.
Humans too. Pregnant human, you can't predict how they're gonna act.
It does a number on your hormones, on everything.
Yeah, so maybe they'll knock your ladder over.
Right. Careful with your ladders out there.
That's what I'm saying. If you have a pregnant wife at home, be careful getting up on your roof.
Maybe sedate her first.
Yeah.
Mike, what were you going to say? Why do you think what?
This hippo, was it just trying to keep herself and her unborn infant safe? Was it like a territorial thing or what?
They're just, territorial. They're just cranky animals. We've talked about them quite a bit. Like they're defensive, territorial animals. I can't think of anywhere in the world where it's in a real zoo where it's like standard practice to go into a hippo enclosure with the animal in the enclosure. You know, I think in anywhere you would have to have that animal in like a safe area to get a temperature, or sedated to get a temperature. They're not an animal you can just go in and chill with, unless it's like a pet like that one guy's, but it still ended up killing him, Humphrey or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't mess around with hippos.
That's what
Temperature
we
readings,
say.
you usually have to like put a thermometer up their butt too.
Yeah.
Can't imagine they like that. Well, I can imagine actually, but I can't. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Is it my turn or your turn, Mike? I forget.
So, correction corner, there's 50 to 60 authentic Honus Wagner cards out there. So I made them seem a little more rare than they actually are, but that's still pretty rare.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Oh, speaking of correction corners, someone from the North American Bear Center wrote in because we were talking about Lynn Rogers in the last episode, and they just wanted to make sure that we weren't giving the Bear Center a bad name. And I was trying to tread that line, but I don't know if I did. Lynn's work is controversial, and I don't think anyone can argue that. But the North American Bear Center has put out a lot of incredible research, and now that like there's no hand feeding or anything there, they're doing some really good work. So I am a fan of the Bear Center, and I often use their resources for bear facts too. So they are good. All right. I have two quick headlines.
I have a correction corner too.
Okay, let's hear it.
There are bugs in Europe.
Good call. Yeah, that's a good one.
All right.
Thanks for checking that out after the fact.
Yeah. Thanks for your hard-hitting research. I have a couple quick headlines from California as well. We got a Coyotes be wildin'. A 4-year-old boy was knocked down and bitten by a coyote in Los Angeles this month. It actually was caught on camera. This happened in early April. You can see the boy standing, and the coyote comes up, bites him on the leg. He falls down, and then it jumps on top of him. Luckily, people were watching and immediately responded, and the coyote ran off. So he had, from what I understand, really minor injuries. But they think the same coyote was responsible for other incidents with people in the area. So they did euthanize that coyote.
Drew a fake tunnel on a brick wall.
Yeah, they set up, exactly.
And the cars were slamming into it.
Yeah, they painted a fake tunnel and it ran into it. And
did we talk about the coyote that went to Alcatraz?
I don't think so.
Let's add
that's
that
another headline.
too, because that was in January. But coyote swam 1.5 miles out to Alcatraz.
That's pretty crazy.
And it got there and is like super tired. But then there's like all these birds on the island because there's no predators there. And this coyote was like eating all the birds on the island for a month until wildlife officials decided to like move it off the island.
Yeah.
Which was pretty controversial because it naturally went there itself. So
and
then it's kind of like it earned it, you know?
I know.
Yeah. So a lot of people are kind of like, why are we taking it off? It swam. It did.
Yeah.
You know?
I think you leave that coyote, honestly. All right, I got one other headline.
I think that should be true in reverse, too. If an inmate like Clint Eastwood swims from Alcatraz back to the shore, it's like, well, he kind of earned his freedom here, I think.
He naturally,
Wes,
immigrated.
You've listened to that Alcatraz case file story.
I did. I loved it.
Do you know that they like say that no one ever escaped Alcatraz? That's what
dumb.
Most people think. I think those two guys escaped.
Yeah, they escaped. For sure.
They went to Brazil and lived a great life.
Yeah. That's
Did you ever see that movie? Escape from Alcatraz? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the Rock.
Classic.
They Brazil maxed.
They're Brazil maxing still to this day. Like Hitler.
In March 18th.
Argentina.
Yeah. On March 18th, a 39-year-old surfer was bitten by a shark near Mendocino County while surfing. He had some pretty serious injuries. Oh, no, I don't. I mean, he was out in the water on his surfboard. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. I don't know too much more about this one. It's just a headline. But I would say in this part of the world, Mendocino is almost certainly a great white shark that bit this man. So, yeah.
Okay.
Would you rather take one bite from a great white or a rattlesnake?
A rattlesnake. How about you? A rattlesnake, you're maybe getting it back. A great white, you're not.
I'll take the great white. I think it leaves a cooler scar. I want it like right on my shoulder, you know? Oh, man.
You just want to be missing a big chunk of your shoulder?
I'm not doing much. If it's my left shoulder, I'm
you know,
good with it. Yeah.
If it's an exploratory bite and it's just like biting and not ripping, then sure, I'd probably pick it. But if it's like biting and tearing, then I'd rather have the rattlesnake.
I'll take a rattlesnake.
Yeah.
It's tough, though. I had to think.
I kind of want to know what it feels like to get bit by a snake, you know?
Yeah. The venom.
Yeah, but I don't actually. So I'm done. That was the end of mine. Yep.
I have a really quick one I wanted to get through just because I like the headline mostly. So a half-blind 12-year-old dog in New Mexico, Honey, the bear slayer, we're calling her. So she's being hailed as the bear slayer because she stood up to a bear that was trying to break into the family chicken coop and like terrorize and presumably eat everything on their little farmstead. Or whatever they had
She's
going
like
on
12
down there.
years old too, right?
12 years old, just like going blind, fiercely protective is how she was described. Going like half blind is what the article said.
Blind.
You know, old dogs, how they often have like milky eyes and are kind of
right. Yeah. But it's funny because she was brave enough to stand up to this bear time and time again, fending off this bear. It kept coming back, and the dog was like, "No." Honey is the bear slayer's name. But she's still afraid of vacuums. So when you pull a vacuum out, really she runs away scared.
She's lucky that bear didn't know her name, you know?
Right. Or
I think the reputation came after this incident, but I'm not totally sure. You're right, Wes.
No, just her name is Honey, Mike.
Oh, that's another one. Yeah. I think it tried, but it couldn't. Point. Honey was too tough.
You think it tried to eat the dog and couldn't?
If you look at the details of the story, like this dog was absolutely messed up. And I won't get into the specifics, but like this bear really went to town on Honey. And Honey, she's recovering. She's back home and doing well. Well, getting better.
That's a good headline. This bear went to town on honey.
That's right. That's what it should have been. That's
All
it
right.
for me. Do you have any more, Jeff?
That was 1 minute 40 seconds. Pretty short.
Yeah, thanks. I pride myself on efficiency. Brevity is the soul of wit, etc., etc.
Yeah, I got some leopard stories. So, there's almost 1.5 billion of something living in India. I won't tell you what
People.
just yet. But it's 18% of the world.
Okay.
And then there's 13,874 of something living in India, which is 10% of their population.
13,874?
13,874. So, just hearing those numbers, which would you say it'd be more significant if one of them died?
The 13,000.
Right. So,
Yeah.
that's the leopards, and the other one's humans.
Oh man, I had no idea.
As Wes said, the leopards' lives in India are more important than the humans.
That's not true.
Um,
I did not say that.
So, a leopard killed a 48-year-old in a place called Uttarakhand, but also an industrial student killed a leopard in a place called Arki. So on March 9th, Prakish Lal was walking home from another day of work as a longtime mason, right? He'd been a mason his whole life, and he's walking home, and Prakash was undoubtedly wary of leopards, considering 14 deaths from a leopard occurred in Uttarakhand region in a 2-month span in 2024. So,
It's pretty crazy.
a bunch of people had been killed in 2024. I'm sure this whole region is just wary of leopards, right?
Yeah.
They know they're out there. But also, it's a walk he's been doing between villages his whole life. But leopards are masters at blending into their surroundings, and unbeknownst to Prakash, there was a camouflage leopard waiting on his familiar route home. So the leopard attack happened late in the evening near Hamala village, where the leopard ambushed the 48-year-old worker and then dragged him 50 meters into the nearby bushes.
Ooh.
When the body was recovered on the following morning, forest officials reached the village, and angry residents encircled the forest workers until they were, guaranteed that this leopard would be put to death.
Really?
So they wouldn't let these forest workers leave. They encircled them and made them, promise to get the leopard responsible.
Yeah.
All right, and then one other story. This was in Himachal. So at 7 a.m., a young adult named Pravish Sharma was crossing his fields to fetch a little bit of milk, as one does, right? And he may have also been wary, as there had been a few recent sightings of a leopard in Arki village where he lives. The locals had even notified the Forest Service of a leopard that chased a man on a scooter at the start of the week. Pravish was ambushed by a 1-year-old female leopard as he was walking for his milk.
Probably
Now-
just ate some spaghetti.
Then he what? The leopard?
No.
Oh,
Pravish.
because I was
He
going to
needs some
say
milk.
the leopard would have waited till he got the milk then.
Yeah, that's true.
So this is a pretty small leopard, still 1-year-old female, right? And Pravish, from his picture, he looked like a pretty strong young kid, right? Probably around 20 years old. It didn't say for sure. But he's able to protect himself from the leopard's mouth while taking scratches from the claws for 12 minutes. So they were wrestling in the grass for 12 minutes. He's protecting himself pretty well, but he's getting scratched up by the claws, right? A little tooth and claw action, Wes.
Yeah. Whoa. We finally did it.
After 12 minutes of exhausting struggle, Wes, you wrestled.
Yeah.
Humans.
6 minutes of wrestling is hard. And that's what the
5-minute rounds is what you're supposed to do.
No, it was 3 2-minute rounds.
Oh, you're right. I take
Um,
that back.
So yeah, 12 minutes with a wildcat. Has
I
to
don't
be
think they
tricky.
took breaks.
Yeah.
Maybe. Didn't say.
I bet he took some little breaks to give it little kisses and some little pets.
Yeah. But after 12 minutes, Pravish was able to grab the cat's jaws and then crush its neck.
Wow.
And kill it.
What?
So he
That's
was
like
able
King
to kill
Kong.
this leopard with his bare hands.
Yeah.
Dude.
Maybe like a little bit of knee action too.
Yeah.
But you can
You should've
say
just-
bare hands.
You should have not waited 12 minutes to do that.
It's probably worth all the scars and everything to be able to tell people.
Yeah, you
that
want
you
a couple
killed
of
a leopard
scars.
with bare
Like
hands.
he had one cool like Luffy-like scar under his eye,
No way.
Oh, you want
and
that.
it's like
That's sweet.
it wasn't enough to like deform him, but as like a cool slash. So
That's
like people
cool.
are gonna ask him about it, type of thing.
Yeah.
And he's kind of already like a hero in his village and at his school where he's going to school. Like people are just like, this guy.
Yeah, I mean, if a 1-year-old female leopard is already attacking people, there's a very good chance that leopard would continue that behavior growing up. So,
The Forest Service was saying, unfortunately, 1.5 billion people, kind of a lot of people. So the leopards are getting encroached in that area. And they just think it was probably a pretty desperate leopard to have like gone into town and attacked a person.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, from what I saw from 2020 to 2024, India's population of leopards has gone up by 8%. So they're doing pretty good with leopards,
Yeah. And tigers.
And it's something I leave it to Wes because, he has a take on everything. He has a stance on everything.
Except for ramen.
Except
ramen.
for ramen. Top
Yeah.
ramen. Just top ramen.
Top
You have a
ramen,
stance on ramen.
I have a stance on ramen. I like it.
But what do you say?
Human life
They
is more
should be
important
allowed-
than animal.
Leopards should be able to kill people.
I don't disagree with that, but I do think that humans are more important than animals. But I do think the animals have the right to like totally exist and continue existing and have good lives, and we need to protect that. So I don't think that we're more important than their existence, but I think people's lives are more important than an individual animal's life.
And I'll say we haven't traveled to like a town in India or like Kenya or Zimbabwe where there are people in those towns where like their lives every day they live in danger of wildlife.
Yeah.
But we have traveled to all those countries, and for my experience, most all the locals really love their wildlife, which is cool. And I'll say like I went into like a India news Instagram and scrolled to see if I could find any more details on the story of the 48-year-old guy who was killed. And turns out they didn't have any more information. But as I was scrolling forever through all their posts, there's like a bunch of different leopard posts. I even sent one to Wes of a black panther with a leopard in one of the national parks. And it's just showing me that like people like leopards there. Like the news
For sure.
puts out leopards. There's one saved
big
out of the
business,
well.
too.
Like people like seeing leopards, and like I think that's I think I'm gonna write a blog, Wes.
Okay.
And it's gonna be about if jaguars or leopards are better.
Okay.
And I'm really conflicted.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there any animal out there that if it was like attacking a person right in front of you and you have the button that if you hit that button the animal dies and the person lives, that you wouldn't hit that button?
Like for your bear collars,
No. I'm
where you
not
blow
saying-
their heads off.
Not that. Like, is there any time that you wouldn't save the person? No.
I can't imagine there would be.
No. Like, even if it's a giant panda or like
Well,
one of these animals
yeah.
where there's hardly any left, I'm still
If
hitting
it was
that button.
if it was Nolan, I'm not hitting that button.
Yeah. There's definitely
if,
people
though-
I wouldn't save.
What if a leopard was just minding its own business and a human started choking the leopard to death? Would you push the button to kill the human?
Maybe. I don't know. That's a good question.
Would you, Jeff?
It probably depends on the human again.
I think so.
You'd kill the human?
I think I would be as likely to kill the human as I would the leopard.
Okay.
What if there's just a button and you hit it and some unknown person out there is going to die and you get $100 million? Would you push that button?
I'd push it for free. Okay, so I'm one of those people that if I experience something I like, I want everyone around me to experience it too, especially with food and drink. If I have a great order, everyone at my table's trying my meal. And that's probably why I have 4 packs of Element's newest flavor in my pocket right now so that I can give it out to people I see. The pink lemonade Element is so good. Electrolyte deficiency or imbalance can cause headaches, cramps, fatigue, brain fog, poor sleep, and weakness. You feel the difference when you get it right. I gave some Element to my friend Darren, and let's just say Darren's a partier, and he told me yesterday that Element's been the most clutch thing he's been putting into his body. But also moms, exercise enthusiasts, heavy sweaters, sauna sitters, Element's for you. I'm telling you, that new pink lemonade flavor with some ice water, it's so good, it's so refreshing. The Tooth and Claw community can receive a free Element sample pack with any order so you can figure out what flavor is your favorite through any purchase when you use our link, which is drinklmnt.com/tooth. That's drinklmnt.com/tooth. And Element has a world-class customer service team, so if you don't like it, they'll take care of you.
This episode is brought to you by Rocket Money. I remember for the longest time, I put off anything that would add to my financial responsibilities. I didn't even want to sign up for a single credit card. I was probably the last person in my life that insisted paying in cash for everything he possibly could. So when that stopped being possible and I finally opened up some lines of credit, I started to get really anxious because all of a sudden I had all these cards, all these different apps that I had to keep track of, and it started to just get really overwhelming. And not to mention all the subscriptions that I was signing up for. Well, that's where Rocket Money really helped me out. Rocket Money tracks your subscriptions and has the ability to cancel unwanted ones within the app with a few taps. And it's already saved users over $880 million in canceled subscriptions. And something that I wasn't expecting the app to do for me, but came as a pleasant surprise, is that Rocket Money consolidates checking, savings, loans, and investments into a single dashboard to give users a clear view of their financial picture. It was all just right there on that single dashboard. Super easy to understand where I was messing up, if indeed I was messing up. It happens. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join at rocketmoney.com/claw. That's rocketmoney.com/claw. rocketmoney.com/claw.
All right. Should we go to our categories?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got them all written down here.
Okay.
This one's from Jeff. A pop culture instance of someone falling off of a ladder.
Ooh, this one's from Jeff, huh?
Yeah.
That makes
you
a
told
difference,
that Hippo
actually.
story.
Are you doing both ladder?
I didn't do
ones?
the ladder one. Yeah. But
Okay,
we
I'm
can
going to
do
do that as mine. So I had favorite pop culture ladder or instance of someone falling off.
Okay. You can do either or. My favorite fall from a ladder was a recent one that I'd thought of. And I don't know if it's actually my favorite, but it's a memorable one from recently. Did either of you see that movie Fall from 2022?
No.
I was one of those things where someone was watching it on the plane and I was more interested in their movie than mine. So I watched a lot of it.
This genre of movie that just really is right up my alley, where it's like a horror movie where people are stuck in a really bad circumstance that's like almost unimaginable. Like there's this movie called Frozen, not the Disney one, where there's these 3 friends that are stuck on a chairlift. I love stuff like that. Yeah. So this one is about 2 friends that are climbing this big tower. It's like just like a radio tower out in the middle of nowhere, and to do like a tribute to their dead boyfriend or whatever. And once they get up there, one of the girls is climbing this old rusty ladder, and they're almost to the top, and the ladder breaks as she's on it. And the other friend, they're tied to each other. The other friend managed to grab her and pull her up, but then they have no way down. And that's what the whole movie's about. And it's really just one of those movies that had me hooked the entire time. I really liked it. Has a fun twist. It's not like, we're not talking like really prime steak here, but it is a really tasty hamburger of a movie. So, yeah.
Steaks from America. Hamburger,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Steak is from America? I just don't know about any of this.
Yeah.
Jeff, go.
Mine is, I don't even remember the movie, but it's one of the older Jackie Chan movies. I think it's like No More Mr.
First
Nice
Strike?
Guy or
First
Mr.
Strike.
Nobody. First Strike, okay.
Yeah.
Where there's like a whole scene of him with like a ladder where he like
It's
spins
so
it
cool.
around his neck. He punches someone through it. He like climbs it to punch someone. And
He's
then
wearing
it's
the
just like
sickest jumpsuit too when he's doing
The
it.
yellow one?
so
Yeah.
many things that like it just goes so much longer than you could ever imagine a ladder skit going for, and he just keeps like coming up with ways to like hurt people with the ladder. And then like the bloopers are almost like better than the movie because it shows people actually getting hit by the ladder and him hitting
Yeah.
himself and like
Prime Jackie Chan is like unbeatable. Even like later Jackie Chan, like you guys remember in Shanghai Noon where he has that rope and he's just with the like horseshoe tied to it. It's so crazy when you think about that was all him actually doing that.
I saw an interesting thing on it too, where like American movies, he still does like a lot of cool stuff in like our American movies, but like they don't know how to use him right, where they do too many cuts, you know, like they cut from the action too much, and like he's really just like a keep the camera rolling type of performer.
For sure. That's a good pick though. I like that.
I like at the very end of the scene, he flips the ladder like very suavely back around underneath him and then just sits on it and waits for all the rest of the bad guys to show up.
It's so cool.
I gotta watch that movie again.
Yeah.
I'm going with the very end sequence of It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, where they're all on the fire escape trying to get off, and they pile up onto the fire escape ladder from the fire truck, and it starts like swinging around, and it flings them all off into like different. One guy gets like slung into a cake. Some of them get
Gay
flung
guy?
into.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. You
Did I say
stuttered. You stuttered. You went one guy, and it sounded like gay guy.
That's not what I
Jeez,
meant.
Mike.
I don't think he was.
Is he gay?
Not from what It wasn't a plot point. Could have been though. I was reading the Criterion Collection booklet for Y Tu Mama Tambien, and it has like a whole history of the three main characters, but it goes into all these details that Cuarón came up with for the characters that don't really have anything to do with the movie when you're watching it.
Yeah.
But, you know, you like knowing those details. So maybe this guy in Mad World, he was gay, and that would inform the character a little bit.
Yeah.
I completely
Dumbledore.
forgot about escape ladders. There's so many of those in movies.
Yeah. People sliding down them.
Another Rush Hour where Chris Tucker can't grab where Jackie
Oh, yeah.
Chan runs up the wall and grabs the escape ladder, and then Chris Tucker can't.
Is that your favorite movie, Mike? Not Rush Hour. It's a Mad, Mad, Mad World.
It's in my top. I think I put it at 5 when I was putting
Okay.
together my 100 favorites.
His favorite
Yeah.
movie is The Matrix. They have an
Oh, yeah,
escape
that's right.
ladder.
I knew that. All right. Next category is. Oh, yeah. This is another one from Jeff, and I wrote it down wrong, so I'm going to read it the way you said it. Something that Mike, Wes, or Jeff ruined for you, but you used to like it. So
I can
basically,
start with this one.
something that one of us ruined. Yeah.
Mike has ruined for me Tom Hanks just by pointing out that he's not that good of an actor. He's overrated,
Yeah.
and I just can't not think that now. And I think
Okay.
he's kind of a bad actor now.
You might have taken that farther than me then.
Reese's,
I was thinking about saying Reese's too. Yeah.
I think, well, it's been proven, and I actually, Mike, and Wes have talked about Reese's, but like I feel like I said like they changed the ingredients, but Mike was the first one to point out that like Reese's was gross to him. But you thought it was because of COVID. Turns
Yeah.
out they just made it gross.
I'm excited for the new recipe or the old recipe to come back because I might like him again.
Me too.
And this one, I don't know if it's completely fair, but I do think you did over time kind of ruin it for me. Is just like loud parties. Just by like you not liking them, I kind of like started to realize like, yeah, this isn't that fun. I'm just pretending to have fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then for Wes, I have any movie where we're at a movie theater and there's a noise from an audience member that I haven't noticed yet. You've ruined all those movies by telling me about the person chewing gum behind us or something. Yeah. Seafood, you've ruined pretty good for me.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Like, even when I do enjoy it, I feel bad. And then I put the idea of ranchers being cool.
Okay.
I think, like the show Yellowstone, you ruined it for me before it would start.
Yeah, that's different, though. I like real ranchers, but I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you?
Some. The ones that are doing it, like, sustainably and ethically. Yeah.
Let's see then.
You don't need to
Like,
think
I
of
kind of
anymore.
want to just put, like,
You've got a lot
the
here.
world.
Okay.
Just because it's like
Just your
global
worldview.
warming, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
But, like, me doing anything.
I didn't realize I
like,
was supposed to
that's
pick
bad for the
multiple
You
things
weren't,
for
I
both
just
of you.
did.
Okay. I just picked one, and it's a little bit surface level because I was having a hard time thinking of them. You guys ruined Super Smash Brothers for me because at the Cube, when you guys lived in the house that you called the Cube, we were pretty equally matched, and I was like a little bit worse than you. I was worse, but I could compete, and anymore I can't. Like when we play Super Smash Brothers, even for a little bit, I just get my ass handed to me like immediately, especially by Mike, but also by Jeff. So I just don't even like playing it with you anymore.
Jeff and I were pretty equally matched, which surprised me.
Yeah.
Because I kind of prided myself on being pretty good.
I
But
could
Jeff, he's a
hang.
natural talent.
Like
I need items.
The good money was on both of you, but I could hang back then, and now I can't even hang. So it's not fun
Mike
anymore.
got really into, like, fighting without items, and I couldn't win that way.
Yeah, the items really introduces. That is the great equalizer. You're right,
is.
Wes. You actually, when we had items on, it was like really a toss-up who would win. Okay. I'm going to go with generally game night. I think you guys, the Larsons writ large, have kind of ruined it for me. I've always kind of had fun when we just sit down and have a fun family time playing whatever cards. But when I started playing with you guys, in competition really started being like a thing. Like you guys want to win. And that's like, I think that's actually right. That's the point of games, is to win them. But like, that was never my attitude towards them. And then there's all these rules I have to keep track of, and like everything gets enforced, and like energy levels get a little high for me. And I'm just like, I think I'm actually good on Uno.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
not saying you guys are wrong to do it, but it's just not my speed. How you guys?
It ruins a lot of game nights for me too, because if that tempo and energy isn't there, then I'm not having fun. Like I need them to be competitive, or else it's kind of like, this isn't fun for me.
That's the thing, is it's like unfair to the people I play with because I don't care. And it feels like if there's one rogue agent who's just kind of like there, not.
No, we love
it
when you
messes
play
the
with
game
us.
up for the rest of the people.
But what about all the jokes
Yeah, the jokes are
we
fun.
say?
The laughs, Mike.
What about the laughs?
I can live without them.
All right. Next one is just a quick one for you guys, for all three of us. It's kind of a category I just made up. Yay or nay? Adult arcade restaurants. So I'm talking like Dave and Buster's here.
I'll say yay with, depending on the group. I don't like going to places like that with strangers. If it's my first time meeting someone, I'd have a hard time functioning very well.
My counterpoint to what you just said is that at Dave and Buster's, if I'm like sitting with strangers, I feel like I have to make small talk in a normal restaurant. But at Dave and Buster's, as soon as I order my food, I can just get up and go play video games. And that's why I like them. Because I don't love restaurants because I don't like all the dead time of like waiting on food and waiting for the bill and everything. It gives me a weird kind of anxiety. And that's why I like arcade ones, is that is killed by going to go have fun playing arcade games. So for me, it's perfect for strangers.
Well, I think it kind of leads into Mike's whole problem with game night, too. He just can't get competitive over things he deems meaningless.
Yeah.
And, like, for us, it's like pop a shot like if you beat me at Pop-A-Shot, I'll be pissed, and I gotta play until I beat you. You know.
But it's
and
fun.
then all of a sudden
fun.
there's like
exactly.
$50 bets happening, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't keep up.
Yeah. All right. So it's a yay for both of us. Jeff, yay or nay?
I love Dave and Buster's.
All right. Yay for Jeff.
I'd live there.
Okay. Another quick category. I want to hear a hot take. Give me a hot take.
Okay. I'm going to say people who use intermissions during long movies as a stopping point to stop watching it for the night and maybe come back the next day. You're weak. You're weak. Your bloodline is weak. You will not procreate successfully. These movies they're 10-minute long intermissions for a reason, not 24-hour long intermissions. Buck up. If you're not ready to sit through a 4-hour Lawrence of Arabia, maybe you're just it's just not for you yet.
You're not allowed
level
to
up
have
a little
kids,
bit. Yeah. No, it bothers me just generally when people like find stopping points, even in like shorter, especially in shorter movies. If it's like an hour and 40-minute long movie and it's like, I can't do this. It's like, come on. This movie is meant to be consumed here and now in one sitting. And I think
fall
you're
asleep
cheating
a
yourself
lot.
a
Is
little
my
bit.
problem. I fall asleep and then I have to watch it in multiple sittings. But yeah, I get that. You want to preserve what the director had in mind. That's a good hot take. Jeff, what's yours?
I have a few.
All right.
So I think celebrities shouldn't be nice to paparazzi or fans who approach them at inappropriate places. Like, to me, when I hear a celebrity's a jerk, I kind of think like that's a normal person, you know?
Sure.
Unless like they're doing really bad stuff. But like, I remember someone was turned off by Keanu Reeves because he didn't want to talk to him that much when he met him. And it's kind of like, yeah, that's fine with me. Like, it's weird that celebrities are nice to every single person interrupting their dinners, you know?
So when that guy grabbed Shia LaBeouf's leg, you think Shia did the right thing at Mardi Gras?
Square up.
Yeah, squared
He's
up, dude.
scared.
He was right. You can't blame him for that. He was scared.
I think ESPN ruined sports media. I was thinking about like another hot take. I don't think Allen Iverson's practice rant is funny at all. Like, I just don't think it's funny. And ESPN has joked about it for the last 20 years.
Yeah, they think it's like the funniest thing ever. Yeah.
And like, it made it so like everyone has to be like Marshawn Lynch or Kawhi Leonard. Like, you can't say anything or else it's talked about the next
into a blip.
2 weeks, you know? And it's just like, they've taken all the fun out of any interviews by like, if anyone says anything remotely interesting, it turns into the biggest story ever.
Yeah.
Will Smith slap, not that big of a deal. Let him be in movies. If
Pretty
he wants
cool,
to.
honestly.
Timothy
the
Chalamet's
craziest
comments
thing.
about opera and ballet, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
you know, that's just how he felt. And my last one is, I think I'm to the point I completely agree with Thanos.
What do you mean by that? You want half the population of the universe to be gone? Is that like you?
If he could randomly do it, I
Did
think
he
it's
kill animals
overpopulated.
too? Like critters?
I think so. That's wrong. You're right.
Yeah, I wish that
You
did
got
happen.
me there.
yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe rethink that one a little bit and come back next
Yeah.
time.
We gotta go back to the drawing board with Thanos.
All right. My hot take is seaweed's bad. It's bad in everything. It's never good. It never adds to anything. It tastes like low tide. It tastes like you're going out and licking algae off of rocks. It is not good. And people convince themselves that it is. That's my hot take.
Only got one thing to say to that, Wes.
Yeah.
Bruh.
All right. Accepted.
You don't like those little like snack packs with like salty seaweed? Oh, they're so
It
good.
is
Nori.
never like I can't tell you how many times I've thought, you know what, I think I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna like it this time because I really want to like seaweed because I know it's like a fancier, not fancy, but a more refined thing to like. And
You think so?
I think
It's like
so.
a culturally-
I think yeah, like, you know, and I do think I'm a adventurous eater, so I always want to try those things. I just don't like it. it always is bad to me.
You think that's like an unpopular opinion, though? Like, do you think
Yes.
most people like seaweed?
I don't know about most people, but I think a lot of people
I'm
like
just
it.
questioning how hot that is. To me, I don't know.
I think it's
does-
a hot take.
Really?
When I tell people I don't like seaweed, I always get like a, what? You don't like seaweed? And it's like, no.
Does it come up a
It's
lot?
seaweed, yeah. Anyway, it does because when I go get ramen or whatever, I always say no seaweed. And then people say, oh, you don't want seaweed? Anyway. All right.
Bruh.
Okay, Jeff, do you have a couple listener questions for us?
Wait, what's Mike's hot take?
Didn't he do it?
Oh, I did it.
No.
Yeah, the
Watch your movies,
intermissions.
people.
Oh, yeah.
Sit down and watch the movie.
Yeah.
Sit
Yeah.
there.
The Thanos one was hot.
Yeah, that's hot.
But you don't even agree with it anymore.
The animal part. Yeah.
All right, so how about a non-animal news story from the last little bit that you want to talk about?
Well, Taylor Frankie Paul, they canceled her season of The Bachelor because Dakota leaked a video of her throwing a stool at him to TMZ. So then now Jesse's getting divorced with Jordan, and Jordan went real extra talking about how Demi wasn't filming anymore. But then Jesse right away, she's like, oh yeah, there's nothing happened with me and Marciano, and now she's dating Marciano and she kissed Chase.
Wow. All right.
Can't believe it.
I thought you were going to do Tiger Woods, but I'm glad you did that. Mike, what's
That's
your
an animal story.
non-animal
Tiger.
tiger?
I was just on the phone with the president.
Those photos are the best photos ever of anyone. All right, Mike, what's your non-animal news story of recent
I'm
days?
gonna go with Gucci Mane getting kidnapped and robbed by Pooh Shiesty in Dallas. That's pretty crazy. Just two
Cool names.
rappers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pooh Shiesty on the come up, and then he did time, and now he's gonna probably do way more time because they kept posting stuff that they stole from Gucci Mane on Instagram. They're like flexing his watches and stuff, and it's like, are you guys literally just? Anyway, Gucci Mane getting kidnapped is like a what the hell is
Yeah,
going
that's
on kind
gnarly.
of thing, especially out of a studio. That's so crazy to me that happened.
I didn't even know it happened until just now. Did you guys hear about the Afro Man news?
Of course.
Somewhat.
Yeah, so
I know he
Afro
like
Man.
videoed the cops, and the cops are mad about it.
I used to love the song Because I Got High. I listened to it quite a bit, actually. So I always had a fondness for Afro Man.
That song gets pretty dark by the end. He's
It
like
does.
really, his whole life.
I
is
was
in
like
shambles by the end of that song.
23 when I liked it, though. He's a funny guy, though. And not too long ago, the police raided his house. They had a warrant to look for certain things, but they did much more than they were allowed to with their warrant, and were just really disrespectful to him. And he managed to catch a lot of video of them raiding his home while they were doing their thing, and has since gone on to make multiple songs calling out these police by name, insulting their partners, making fun of their appearance, doing all this
Lemon
stuff.
pound cake.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny.
And just harassing them to the point where the police brought up a suit against Afro Man and took him to court for like libel or harassment or whatever. And he won. And it was just like he came to court dressed in this big American flag suit and just looked so funny. And a lot of the clips from it are hilarious and just one of the funnier stories I've read and watched in a while. So it was really good.
There's one where they were like playing his song as like evidence against him, and he's just like dancing,
Rocking out to it.
Yeah. It's so funny.
Love that guy.
All right. Well, I think that wraps it up for the week. Good news stories. Thank you to our listeners for sending them to us. As always, it really helps us kind of know what people want to hear us talk about. So we really appreciate that. And we got some fun stories coming up. Yeah. You guys got anything else?
Oh, you want a Jeff random animal fact?
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't have one prepped.
All right. Well, then, no,
Maybe.
I guess.
Yeah, we'll dispense with it then.
I don't think trout can swim backwards.
I don't know.
I think they got to
So,
turn around.
That's interesting.
Take that one with a grain of salt, all you listeners out there, and we will see you soon. Love you.
Love
See ya.
you.